Hello, welcome back to the channel, the More of James Allen channel, with yet another review of the House of the Dragon. This time we'll be covering episode 3 of this show. So I've reviewed the first episode and the second episode, and I enjoyed those episodes. I did enjoy them. As for this episode, I think my mind hasn't changed on this show whatsoever. It definitely has been a good show to watch. Just these hour long episodes for these past couple of weeks have been a joy for me and Matt, especially. Even if I'm not a Game of Thrones fan and seen Game of Thrones that much or any episodes at all, I still really enjoy this show. So now, with that out of the way, I think what I should really do here is explain what this episode really dives into. So we actually get this whole idea about the Crabfeeder, who's this character who likes crabs, feed people crabs and all that. Because at the start of the episode, you see Matt Smith's character Daemon with this dragon, and then he burns all of these people, and then you see the crab coming up to this guy and eating this guy. And there's like these crabs, and you don't really know what's going on. And then later on, you find out about the crab feeder. He kind of comes into the plot, and you have that's kind of one of the ideas in the episode. You have the crab feeder. He's like a half crab dude. And then you've also got King Viserys and the daughter, the little girl in the show as well. And they kind of have an argument again because there's this whole thing of how Rhaenyra name, that's her name, King Viserys and Rhaenyra, they have an argument because she doesn't want to marry this guy, and then she just dashes away with a horse, and she goes away and that stuff, and she goes into the woods and that, and there's actually, within that, we get to see this other character that comes along. He's been in it for a few other couple of episodes, can't remember his name, but he's in there, and like this whole scene happens where you think he's gonna get attacked, right? And there's like this wild boar that comes out of nowhere, and it attacks him. But here's the thing. It doesn't actually kill him because Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra, I think her name is Rhaenyra. Yeah, Rhaenyra, the little girl, just call her the little girl with the white hair because that's kind of the best I can say about her. She attacks the boar and she goes. She attacks the boar, they do that, and then that sort of happens. We get to see that, and then she returns to that little camp because they were at a camp. It was a bit of a different setting because usually we're in the castle in these episodes and they're talking, and I thought that most of the episode was okayish because I thought this episode was kind of like it took a little bit of a backseat where it kind of just expands the story more, and it shows you more about the characters, and it's all the whole realm with the Targaryens, usual stuff. But then I felt like when Matt Smith gets on screen and he comes into the fray, it's like, wow, this show is just absolutely amazing because there is this whole thing with the crab feeder and Daemon, right? There's that, and you have all the Targaryen warriors kind of thing. You have that whole, and you have a whole like Matt Smith's character Daemon. He goes in, he has a boat to this island where the crab feeder is. I think it's called Bloodstone. I think, and it's the caves of Bloodstone. You see all the crab feeders guys as minions, or whatever you call them, coming to attack Matt Smith Daemon's character, and basically he's like this, right, with his sword. He's like, and they think that they're gonna give a sword to him, and then he just goes like that, and he just attacks all of them and goes, and he just attacks them all. And then his teammates, the Targaryen soldiers, right, or the warriors, or the knights, I should say, they're knights because they have like swords and they look like they've got the armor and stuff. So they come in, they basically come to his assist essentially, and that sort of stuff. And I thought when that happens, it's like, oh my god, this episode just got even better. Like, I thought this show could not get even better. but then he comes into it, and you have all those people coming into it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, dude, this show is amazing, right? And that's the thing with the House of the Dragon that I've now just like noticed. Because I've seen a couple reviews where it's like, okay, this show is all right, and then when Matt Smith comes on, this is astonishing. And they're not wrong, because Matt Smith is definitely like one of my favourite like actors in this show. He's that guy that was famous for Doctor Who, but this guy is amazing. I think he's just one of the most amazing actors in this show, and I'm definitely gonna keep tuning into this show weekly, which is really, really good, right? Because with these other shows I've covered in the past, right, I've had that thing where it's like, okay, there's some episodes that are meh, and then it's like, right. There's a few shows like that I wasn't like too over the top with, or like all over the place with. I wasn't like really into, but House of the Dragon, I think, is one of my favourite shows this year. I mean, there was Stranger Things, right? That's a different story though, because that, right, for the majority of that, it's older seasons and stuff, but it was really good, right? The Stranger Things was good. House of the Dragon, and there was I like the telling list, but the show I was mentioning, right, was like, I was compared this to the like Kenobi, right? I didn't like Kenobi as much as this, right? It was meh. It was passable. It was 6 out of 10 good. So, and this is probably one of the better shows. House of the Dragon. I strongly recommend it. I strongly recommend you watch House of the Dragon, and that's kind of my review here. I'm kind of recommending it for you, because this show, I'm going to keep covering it now that I know that I'm going to have a good time covering it. If there's any points where I'm like, I'll still cover it just to give my honest thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the review. I'll put it out on Anchor FM, and then that'll go onto Spotify and that stuff. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week for another episode of this coverage, and then obviously the review show with the Tolkien books, and then the James Ramblin show. The random topic stuff. There's a bit of random topics and a bit of both, bit of on topic and off topic. So yeah, see ya. Went a bit over the usual time, but that's alright. See ya.